So what would the world like to see? Would it be a Lionel Messi versus Cristiano Ronaldo Champions League final? Oh, just saying that just makes my spine tingle just a little bit. So that would be something that I would like to see. But we're joined here by Mario Melchior. Thank you so much for joining us again. Joaquin Reyes, of course, you guys know him from TYT. And we're going to talk about the second group of games in the Champions League. So we've got the huge game, Madrid derby, and then we've got the other game that everyone and their granny are going to be watching, PSG versus Barcelona. So on that talking point, to start off, do you think that the world wants to see a Cristiano Ronaldo versus Lionel Messi Champions League final? What about you, Joaquin? What do you think about that?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you always want to see the biggest stars facing each other on the biggest stage.
Yeah.
We had a Messi versus Ronaldo final. Well, it was back 2008 or something. It was when it was Manchester United against Barcelona.
Yeah.
I mean, what more do people behind organizing these tournaments want than the biggest superstars facing each other?
Yeah.
So for everyone, for world football, for fans alike, everyone wants to see the biggest stars on the biggest stage. So looking at the form of these teams, it wouldn't surprise anyone. It certainly wouldn't surprise me if they do meet in the final.
Yeah. What about you, Mario? So Lionel Messi, as we know, just at this moment in time, seems to be leading the charge a little bit more in terms of being the world's best player, because I like to view it as a larger talking point in terms of not just goals but assists and how he draws the players in around him. Lionel Messi, for me, just peaks Ronaldo a little bit, but Ronaldo, of course, is a fantastic player. Would you love to see it, being an ex-pro, would you love to see these two sort of dynamos in their own team come up against each other?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think for the world of football, that's what everybody want to watch. I mean, they have the most following. I mean, everybody wants to know what they do daily. Even if it's just a training game, people want to watch it. But sometimes only what I ask myself is, because we know the Clásico is a great game to watch and everybody loves it. But sometimes when it comes to a Champions League final, when the big heads go at each other, you miss a spark. And I'm only a little cautious about that, and that doesn't mean they're great players. I'm a big fan of both, and sometimes it's just difficult to choose who's better, like you already highlighted. But they're just different players. I don't want, because people compare them and they're totally not the same players.
Yeah.
One is amazing with changing direction. Messi, he changes direction like nobody can. He can stop and start like, I don't need, even my car won't even go that quick. Okay, and then you have Ronaldo. He's a machine.
Yeah.
He's just a machine.
Yeah.
If you play against him, you know that he's always looking for the next move.
Yeah.
He's always aware of what is going on. He's waiting, boom, explosive.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him so good. And the thing where he has probably more than Messi is because he's taller and he can, in the air he's really good. And I had to mark him for corner, so I knew.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey man, we are best friends now. I hold on to you.
Hold on tight, you're not letting go.
But that's why I never had and I really would love to have that experience to play against Messi, but Ronaldo, that's the only one I can really say.
Yeah.
It's just a great player, and it's just beautiful to play against because the guy is so good, and that's why you want to match yourself to the best of the best.
Yeah, and it's a good point you made up there, exactly, about when these teams from their own respective leagues play against each other. I think it's good to watch, but people are looking at this Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid game and taking the La Liga games as their example. I think it's a different game. I think Atletico Madrid playing against Real Madrid in La Liga, they've got that edge because they know how to play against them when it's in the surroundings of La Liga gameplay. And I think in the Champions League, it's just that something edge. There's that difference about it. Going into the Champions League final, people were thinking that Atletico Madrid would go ahead and win that fantastic double with winning La Liga and going on and win the Champions League. But Real Madrid changed their game plan. And they went out with a different mentality and overcame it and then eventually won the competition. So I don't think it's fair to look at La Liga standings or the way they played against each other head to head when it comes to the Champions League. It's a different game.
Well, I mean, I think it changes. Like, the final's a one-off, right? A cup final's a cup final. We can't say what's going to happen on a day. Over two legs, usually the better team wins.
Yeah.
Better tactics, all that. We've seen what they've done between each other, right? So yeah, Atletico dominated with, in the league the past couple of years, have done really well against Real Madrid. Look, since losing that match against Real Madrid, they've been unbeaten, I think, in 5 matches. 3 wins and 2 draws against Real Madrid since then.
Yes.
Taking all that into consideration, this is the Champions League. It's a whole new stage.
Yeah.
It's a whole new world. I think that form takes into it. I mean, we've seen the way they play them, how hard they play against Real Madrid. But this is a new competition. So
it's the referee too, guys.
Exactly.
The referee is a big influence because the referee is never because now you don't have a Spanish referee.
Yeah.
So some of the tricks or some of the way of what he will maybe stop the game for, it won't happen now. Or he would stop it for. Or some of the fouls they try to create, they won't get. So this game, the dimension of the game is totally different just by one guy. Yeah. And they all know that.
Yeah, and that's a good point to make as well, because it's something that I talk about when it comes to La Liga, is I think the referee is far too strict in La Liga with it. And I think that specifically in all Spanish football is that as much as I love to watch it, the referee buys into far too much of the theatrics and buys into the light-hearted tackles, because playing in the Premier League, it's a different kettle of fish in terms of how hard the tackles are going in. And if you go in and win the ball and take a little bit of the guy, more often than not, the referee's going to let it go because it's a good tackle. So, but this is another point I want to make. With that refereeing different from La Liga, would that not favour Atletico Madrid more than it would favour Real Madrid? Because they've got a few hard-hitting players in there. Godin loves to get stuck in against Real Madrid. It could favour them more.
It certainly could. I mean, we've seen times when they've been able to get away with tons of fouls, but these Champions League refs, you never know. I mean, I don't know who the referee is for this match. Yeah. You get referees from Germany, from Austria, from all over. Yeah. It's tough to say how they're going to ref it. So we will see in opening stages quickly, how much they're able to get away with, because whether the little knick-knack, little touch fouls are able to let go. If they're allowed to play, that certainly benefits Atletico, because they always want to make you. The big thing in matches against them is that they know that they're always in for a dogfight. Yeah. And if you're facing Atletico, you're going to feel it after. Yeah. And you're not going to be feeling great the next day.
Yeah. Simeone is your coach. What do you expect, man? You got to be. Hey, believe me, because I know exactly how he was playing. Oh, he doesn't make anything go past him. He makes sure if whatever happens to his team, when he was playing, he makes sure nobody would bully my team. Yeah. Now he's the coach. Identical.
Same thing, and that's a good. Diego Simeone has got that mentality about him, and he was that dogged of a player when he played. So let's touch on the next tie, because I know, Mario, you played with Zlatan Ibrahimovic at Ajax, so you know that he's not going to even be present in this game. How much is that going to affect PSG hosting Barcelona in the first leg?
Just him being there and coming from Barcelona, it means a lot, because a man like him, it's so important for a team to have him, because just sometimes the presence of a player already dictates and changes the whole molecules in the dressing room before you even start. Yeah. Because he's been there. Yeah. So he can carry, because look at some of the young players in the team. They probably need some experience. And they do have experienced players, don't get me wrong, in the team. But Zlatan is the main guy, up front. So that's why he will be a big loss. And I know how much his presence means to PSG. Yeah. And still now, because the guy has done it all over the world. Yeah. And he's still doing it now. Yeah. And I'm enjoying it. Yeah. So that's why, yes, he will be a big loss. Yeah, so with that, and of course you mentioned before to us Joaquin Verratti, who I'm a huge fan of, was a huge fan of in the World Cup. He's got little splices of Pirlo in there with the likes of instances of Marquisio-esque movements where he's box to box as well as having that talent. I love to watch him. He's a joy to watch. He's out as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? And these are big players that are going to miss this huge game at home against Barcelona. You have to score goals. You have to try and get yourself something of an advantage, because if you go to Camp Nou and it's going to be devastating. You go from small to really big. Exactly. The field is huge.
I mean, in terms, they have a huge task ahead of them. There's so many players missing. We're still seeing Lucas Moura's probably still out. Yeah. Thiago Motta, who's a huge part of the engine room for them, is likely out. David Luiz is an injury concern as well. Yeah. So they're missing these players all through the spine. Yeah. I mean, we're going to have to see some players that have had, guys with big price tags like Edinson Cavani, who has not been scoring enough for them. Yeah. I mean, I think across the board, we can all say that we know Cavani is a great footballer with immense talent. Yeah. But he's got to show it on the biggest stage. Yeah. He's got to score goals in the big games. This is his chance. Yeah. You're missing guys. He gets to play his preferred role through the middle as the number 9 with Zlatan out. Yeah. And they need to get a decent result, so they can still be in the tie going to the second leg. Yeah. No one wants to go to the Camp Nou down a goal or even level on terms. But if they can do that and get Ibrahimovic back, because Ibrahimovic will be back for the second leg of the tie, he's got all the motivation in the world to go back and and stick it to Barcelona. Yeah. He's been very outward and very outspoken, as he always is. Yeah. Because he loves Zlatan. And how he felt his relationship with Pep was. And so he wants to go stick it to him. Yeah. If he gets a chance for it to still be alive in the second leg, anything can happen. One
player who, for me, stood out in the group stage game against Barcelona, Matuidi, got a goal against Barcelona at home for PSG. And I think he's going to be essential in this game because he drives that team forward. And it's all about how you can neutralise their front three movement of Neymar, Suarez and Messi. And we must note that those three were not ticking at that point when they played PSG. Suarez wasn't even playing, so they weren't at the same magnitude that they're at right now. But those guys know exactly where their fellow players are, no matter what. Messi picks up the ball, he knows that Neymar's making that dart and run from the left in, cutting through the defence right in the middle where he can pick that pass. So to look at the previous circumstances, it's not the same Barcelona team that you're going to be playing against. This is a Barcelona team that knows exactly what they want to do. They're clicking. So without those players, I don't know what's going to happen for them. So it could be hard.
I agree. It's a different Barcelona team, but it's not the Barcelona of the years that we know. The magic, like maybe 3 years ago. Iniesta, this was like Iniesta, right. Because now Iniesta, look how deep he plays.
Yes,
and I'm a big fan. I love Iniesta and Xavi. But now you can see it. Iniesta is kind of playing the Xavi role now, right? Because he's the younger version now compared to what Xavi is. But still, it's not the Barcelona we used to. And it's normal. I mean, hey, guys, there's a moment when you are at the top of your game, and then you have to come down because you got to rebuild.
Yeah.
And okay, they have the power to do that because they brought Neymar and Suarez in.
Yeah.
But still, they have enough. This team is still great.
Yeah.
And this team is still, I think, on paper, way better than PSG.
Yeah.
But PSG could do it as a team and not as an individual.
And they've got that, because PSG have got that attribute that you know so well, it's the heart. You know what I mean? That game against Chelsea, they were down and out. They were down 10 men against a team like Chelsea who, most people would have put their mortgage on Chelsea closing that game out. It's Jose Mourinho, man. It's defensive structures. It's how to shut a team down and just suck the whole life from them. But PSG did not give up, and it's through that guys like Thiago Silva who is going to be another player who's going to be crucial because he's going to be given the sole task to try and neutralise that backline with Marquinhos if he comes in as well. They've got some good players in there, don't get me wrong. We're going on to the predictions of the game in Paris. I don't know if it's going to be enough to get them a good enough result going back to the new camp. I think it might be 1-1 in Paris. So what do you think, Joaquin?
I'm going to go 2-1 to Barcelona.
Yeah.
It's predominantly because I feel it's such a shame that we're missing so many of these players. You know, we look at the back line for PSG. It looks like since Marquinhos is going to have to step in and play in the middle due to David Luiz being out, Gregory van der Weel is going to play on the right side.
He had a good game against Neymar, to be fair, when they played them the last time, but it's a different Neymar.
But exactly.
This is
Neymar coming off scoring, a scream of a free kick in this last match. Like you said, that front three's been firing on all cylinders. I think it's going to be too much for him.
Yeah.
But they'll still be within a shout. 2-1 Barcelona.
What do you think, Mario?
I might have to join you on that one.
2-1.
I might have to join you on that one. I might have to join you on that one.
And then we'll go to the game that I just hate predicting these games, Atletico and Real Madrid, because I try so hard to give the benefit of the doubt to this Real Madrid team and think, surely Atletico Madrid cannot keep beating them. Because on paper, as you like to say before, Real Madrid are a better team. They should be able to beat Atletico Madrid, but being at home in that cauldron of their stadium where the Real Madrid team seem to hate to go, I think that Atletico Madrid might take a 1-0 victory to the Bernabeu.
That would be a wonderful result. I'm a bit of an Atletico sympathizer as well, so I would love for that to happen if they could do that and get the clean sheet. I think Real are going to have a little too much. They're going to get a goal. It's going to be 1-1 with all the play going back, but 1-1 in the first leg.
No, Atletico is going to win. I do believe Real is going to score.
Okay.
So maybe 2-1.
2-1? All right, good. That's
I'll take that.
Some good predictions here. What do you guys think? Leave your predictions in the comment section below. Any questions you want to ask to our ex-pro here, Mario, shoot them over to Twitter at Mario Melchior, at Morning Pint for Joaquin, and at Francis_Maxwell. Don't forget to subscribe to TYT Sports. Plenty more Champions League talk coming.